Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an episode of the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I'm your host and coach, Morgan Ekovich, and today we are going to be diving into all things summer, transition, craziness, schedules, feeling like you are finally on track, and then all of a sudden the season's changed. So before we dive into that, I want to remind you who this podcast is for and why I do this, why I find amazing people to be guests on this podcast. So this podcast, EmpowerHer Wellness, is for women. I don't care what type of woman you are. If you are a woman who is looking to feel more confident, empowered, stronger, feel like they can literally take on and do anything that they would like to do, this podcast is for you. Yes, we primarily talk about health and wellness, sleep, stress, exercise, fitness, nutrition, mindset, accountability, weight loss, habit building, all of those things. But we also have some really fun guests that come on, such as we had Kim Barber come on about a month ago talking about how to solo travel, something that maybe as women we're kind of afraid to do. This fall, I'm going to have some really awesome people. I met up with a group, Women in Construction, and they're going to kind of give us some home tips. If you are the one doing the things around the house, or you're a new homeowner and you're thinking, I've taken the leap, I'm a female, I've bought my own house, but I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing, they're going to be a great spot. They're going to give us some awesome tips. Or maybe I'm going to be reaching out to a mechanic to kind of come on and share with us how to know that we feel confident. There's so many things. I got talking at a networking group this morning, and I got talking with them about there's so many areas in our life that we depend on other people for. And I don't want these episodes to make you feel like you can't depend or you shouldn't depend on other people, but I want them to be there so that you know, like, you are capable and you have the skills and you have the knowledge to do that. Because in reality, we don't know what we don't know. And that's why we listen, that's why we learn, that's why we ask for help, that's why we get coaches. So if you have any ideas or you have things that you'd like to learn, guests you'd like me to bring on to talk about specific things, shoot me a message. My email's in the show notes. Send me a message. I would love to find people and topics that you want to learn about outside of that health and wellness space, but it really all balances. If you're super stressed about your car and you're overwhelmed in that area, it's going to affect our wellness. So it all balances out. So enough about that. That's coming this fall. But today, before we dive in, I do want to share that June 4th, that is next Wednesday, we are starting in-person summer strength training boot camp classes, and I am so freaking excited. Acme Home Exteriors down here in South Lansing at the corner of Jolly and Aurelius has graciously offered to allow me to borrow their warehouse space. So they've got a big garage door. It's going to be indoor, outdoor, super fun boot camp style 45-minute class, 5:30 to 6:15. Wednesdays starting June 4th, running for 12 weeks. You can, so drop in, you just show up and you can Venmo or cash. You can sign up for all 6 weeks and get some bonuses such as extra accountability throughout the week. If you miss class, you get a few virtual class options. You also get accountability from me, a super awesome group of women and people to hang out with, and then that class once a week as well. You can sign up for 6 weeks or 12 weeks. If you sign up front, you get a little bit more and you get a little bit discount. So keep that in mind. Check the show notes for that link so that you can grab that. If you are local, I would love to see you and meet you in person. We've got about 10 people signed up right now, and I just want to keep that growing. All you need to bring is a mat and a set of weights. We will not be doing burpees. I will not be making you run around the parking lot. It's not that type of boot camp. It's specifically strength training and mobility and flexibility and things like that. So if you are looking to improve that this summer, which we're going to talk about how, because we tend to, come summertime, lose our routines. If you want to improve that and you want some extra accountability, join us on Wednesdays. June 4th is our first class. So on to today's episode. I love summertime. Love, 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 love summertime. I am a creature of habit and I love routine as well. But summertime likes to throw a little wrench in my routine. I tend to be a little bit more go with the flow of, hey, you want to go to the lake this evening? Or hey, you want to go do this? And it doesn't always fall into my calendar. And if I'm not proactive about my workouts or my nutrition, hey, you want to go out to dinner and drinks tonight? If I have been a little less proactive and intentional about those things throughout my day, I tend to feel guilty about doing those things at the end of the day. So today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into some of these transitions that we feel as the seasons change. And if you're listening to this and it's not summertime and you're thinking, oh, we're going into winter because you've joined our podcast a little bit later on, no worries. Kind of take some of these tips and flip them to kind of fit. So anytime there is a season change, we tend to have a change in schedule. It is normal. And as soon as we feel like we're ready to go, we're in the rhythm, it changes because that's just what it does, especially here in Michigan. So as we're moving into summer, we're going to first talk about exercise and strength training. One of the things that I run into myself as well as with my clients is that, I don't want to strength train because I'm stuck inside. It's so nice out. I feel guilty if I'm not outside enjoying the sun, all of those things. I get it. Guilty. I am somebody who does that. I'm like, I won't do it today. I'll just go for a walk instead. I do so many walks in the summer. And not that walking is bad. Walking is very important and something that you should be doing and taking advantage of when the weather is nicer. But at the same time, we don't want to lose that strength training portion. So here are a few things that you can do to keep that strength training up. One, if you are somebody who goes to the gym and you are an hour gym goer or an hour plus gym goer, it's a lot of time inside. Think about how can you make your workouts a little bit more effective. Maybe you can do some compound moves. Maybe you can do some supersets. Maybe you can add some tempo. You can take shorter rest periods. I work with clients one-on-one to help create those programs for them. And all the programs I write are 30 minutes in length, give or take, if we incorporate that warm-up or cool-down, because some clients have their own warm-up and cool-down they like to do. But I try to keep out all those workouts 30 to 45 minutes absolutely max. So with that, think about, can we shorten our strength training workouts in the summer and still be effective so you don't feel that guilt of, I'm just missing out on all the beautiful weather. I don't have time for it. There's so many awesome things going on. I'll just skip that workout. I'll just go for a walk. Because we don't want to replace all of our strength training workouts with walking. We still need that strength training. Option 2, join a class that takes place inside, outside. Exactly what I am running. Check it out if you're local. If you're not local, check out your community pages. I can guarantee somebody is running some sort of boot camp outside in the park. Take advantage of those. It's an awesome opportunity to meet new people, get outside, and get the best bang for your buck when you want to be outside, gain strength, and find a community. Number 3, I have a client where we've been trying to get strength workouts in, and it's literally just been, her and I have been going back and forth, been trying to figure out what that new battle rhythm looks like with the nicer weather. And she's like, I just hate going to the basement. It's just so gloomy. It's not where I want to go. So we've brought her mat and her weights upstairs. We put them in the living room, which is next to her patio outside, so that she can go. I said, if it's a beautiful morning, take your weights outside. Go do your workout outside. Or if it's raining, do it in your living room where there is sunlight. So often we do have our gyms in our basement, which is a great spot for them because they can kind of just be out. But when the weather's so nice, it's hard to want to go down into that dark, gloomy basement, even though you know you're going to feel 100 times better at the end of that workout. So bring your weights up, put them in your living room, use them on your patio. I do so many garage workouts in the summer. So in my office, which you guys have seen if you've watched this podcast, because I kind of bounce from this studio to my actual office. And what I've noticed is even when my big window is open and that sun is shining in, it just feels stuffy in the house. So I will carry my stuff out to the garage and I'll pop that garage door open and I'll do it either out in the driveway or in the garage itself. I kind of get the best of both worlds. So if you have a spot in your garage this summer, maybe you move your gym out there. Get some of that sunlight. You can incorporate a walk with that strength training, but get creative. If strength training tends to be less fun in the summer because you feel like you're missing out on the beautiful weather, incorporate the beautiful weather into your strength training workouts. And that kind of, I'm going to trickle into all exercise here. Same thing. If you're somebody who's a big elliptical person, maybe you take a break from the elliptical this summer and you take your bike out, or you take your rollerblades out, or you go for a walk, or you go for a run. Use the beautiful weather we have. And if you're somebody, because I have a few clients that are listening, that hate the heat, that are like, oh, I hate the humidity and the heat, get up in the morning and go, wait till after dinner to go, but still enjoy it, because there's so many benefits we get from fresh air, vitamin D, and just getting outside in nature. So with these changes, it's okay to shorten your workouts. It's okay to be a little bit more intentional of, okay, I'm just going to do a 15-minute AMRAP on my porch this morning, and that's going to be my strength training, because that is what, one, my schedule allows, and two, sounds fun. Make exercise fun. Yes, there's a part of dedication and showing up and consistency, but it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be punishment or anything like that. So that's that exercise portion. Now, when it comes to nutrition, I mentioned this in the beginning of summer is hard for me. If I'm not intentional with my nutrition at the start of the day, I feel guilty sometimes saying yes to fun things at the end of the day, knowing they're going to be a little bit more indulgent. So what that means for me at least, is if I kind of didn't really eat breakfast, which barely happens, but every once in a while life happens and I don't really eat a breakfast. Lunch, I had something quick and on the go because I ended up being out, and then all of a sudden I get invited to dinner and I'm like, oh, I really just want a home-cooked meal. I want to feel good. I don't want to go eat out, but at the same time, I do want to go and I want that social aspect because that's what I need. Well, two things I can do. I can go to the restaurant, I can get a salad, I can eat something boring. Or I can go to the restaurant, I can enjoy and pick something that I really do love and would like to have, and just know that today wasn't my best day and I'll try to be better tomorrow. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, work your way through it that way. What I do now, knowing that it's coming into summer, I am super, super intentional. I got to make sure that I've got a really solid breakfast every morning. And what that means for me is knowing that in my life, I can make breakfast just about every single morning. I don't have other people to worry about. I don't have kids to get out the door. I don't have camps to go to. I have time to make myself breakfast. Also, I've managed to make my breakfast in about 7 minutes. Gotten pretty quick at it. So I know that I need to have my breakfast, which means I need to go grocery shopping and I need to make sure I've got all the things on hand that I need to have that breakfast. If I know I'm going to be gone, or I do have a busier week and I will not be able to cook, then I always have things in my freezer that I can easily rewarm or pop in the toaster that I've already made. Protein pancakes, protein waffles, mini quiches, breakfast burritos. I always have things in my freezer because you just never know. That will take less than 7 minutes to warm up, but that still is going to get me that high protein filling breakfast that my body needs to get the day started. Then it comes to lunchtime. I always make sure that at lunch I'm getting a vegetable, because if you ever get to that evening and you do get asked out and you're like, I want pasta, I don't want a vegetable, I don't want a salad, then you can go ahead and have that and not feel guilty. Because a lot of times we hold guilt when we're trying to reach goals. I'm trying to hit my fiber goal. I'm trying to make sure I get enough vegetables. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting enough protein. If we can front load those things that our body needs, and I'm not saying that then means we go off the rails for dinner, but it gives us the opportunity for flexibility and for us to feel good rather than, I should order that salad. Who cares what you should do? If you've front loaded and you've planned for your day and you've planned for spontaneousness, I don't even know if that one's a word, then go ahead and order whatever you want. But within your intentions, you can still find really good tasting foods that still help you reach your goals. And when I'm saying this, it's not like it's a free pass, it's a cheat time. No, like find something in between, but isn't just a boring salad. Don't get me wrong, I love a good salad. Well, sometimes it's just not what we're feeling. So be intentional about your nutrition from the start every single day. And maybe you're like, oh, I got invited to brunch. Great. Make brunch that fun, indulgent, spontaneous time. And then be intentional with your lunch and dinners. It's all about that 80-20 we talked about way back when I started this podcast. I'll make sure I link it in the show notes. But it's about being intentional. Figuring out of this is what happened today. This is how I need to respond. And this is how I can plan for when it happens next time. and it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time. Aim for 80%. Water. We're going to quick little move into water. Carry a reusable water bottle with you. Please, 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 please. This is a 36er. I know you guys probably see me with like 6 different water bottles. I do try to switch them up. But I love my 36 ouncer because I drink 3 of these and it's perfect. If I drink more, awesome. But 3 is my goal. I used to have a gallon water bottle. I just got tired of lugging it around, I'm going to be honest. Those Stanleys are nice, but they leak. This one doesn't leak. Find something you can throw in your passenger seat. You can throw in a backpack. You can throw in your stroller that you don't have to keep upright. There's enough other things that we need to be worrying about rather than making sure our water doesn't fall over and spill all over everything. So we've talked about exercise and how you can stay on track with that strength training. We've talked about your nutrition. We've talked about your water. Let's talk about your sleep. And we have sleep episodes coming up, which is going to be super cool. We've got a 2-part series coming up next week and the following week. And when it comes to sleep, I'm not going to dive too much into it because Kelly's going to cover them in the next 2 weeks when I interview her. But I want to remind you that with it being later, you may need to change your environment a little bit. If you know in the summer you tend to get less sleep because it's just brighter out for longer periods of time, maybe this year invest in some blackout curtains so that you can go to bed at a reasonable time. It's not too bright and you can actually start to fall asleep. So a lot of times we do tend to stay up later because there's things going on or that sunlight. So invest in a set of blackout curtains. I think I got mine from Meijer like 8 years ago when I was in college. My math is probably wrong on that, but something like that. I've had them for a long time. They're great. We keep them in the bedroom. And I have one now, the one above our bed, I always keep shut. And then the one on the side of our bed, I'll sometimes shut, sometimes not, depending on the time that we head to bed. So just kind of keep that in mind. Think about your environment. Are you staying up later and are you still getting up at that same early time? If so, try to think about changing your environment so that you can go to bed a little bit sooner so that you're not losing sleep this summer on top of all of the crazy busyness. Okay. So last little thing, as we are moving into summer and routines and things are changing, I've mentioned this in previous episodes and I just don't talk about it as much as I used to, but it's a really important aspect that I use in my life every single day. And a lot of my clients use it. We all just use a different variation. So plan tomorrow today. So what does this mean? This looks different for every single person I've taught this to. For me, it looks like at the end of my workday, I take a look at my calendar and I look at what does work look like tomorrow. And I open up my ClickUp, which is my productivity and time management app, and I make sure I have anything that has to happen tomorrow as a task, I have it on for tomorrow's task list. I also look and I say, okay, I've got a podcast recording at noon. I've got a hormone and strength training workshop I'm running in the evening. Do I have the materials? No. Okay, well, I have to get them printed and I don't have a colored printer, so I need to schedule time on my calendar to go to the library or go to the print shop and get them printed. So I first plan tomorrow today by looking specifically at my work schedule when the workday is done. So tonight, I am going to open up my calendar at the end of the day, at the end of the workday, and figure out what do I need to do tomorrow. Part 2 is after dinner, somewhere between after dinner and before bed, I pull open that calendar again and I look at the entire day. And I look at my morning, my work, and my evening. And Mike and I have a conversation. Hey, do you have anything tomorrow? Like, do you have any late night networking things? What's going on? And I will, because I'm a visual person and I'm trying not to have to remember everything, as us women tend to. We tend to keep it all in our brain thinking we will remember all of it. Put it on your calendar. Just get it on the calendar. So I will take a look and I'll say, he'll be like, oh, I got a networking thing from 5 to 6. I will color code it in a different color. I'm not going to it, but I know that that's typically when we eat dinner, that we're either going to eat before or we're going to eat separate. And he's going to do his thing and I'm going to do my thing. And for me, that's planning, because sometimes knowing when you're going to eat dinner with your spouse or your family is the biggest stressor of what are we having and when are we having it. So I look at my life and I say, okay, what is happening in the morning before work? I've committed to going to the gym, or I've committed to going down to the garage and doing an outdoor workout. Awesome. Make sure that's on the calendar. I'm planning for that. I may be setting up my workout gear. I may be putting my tennis shoes in a good location. Every time is a little bit different. I have my routine, but these are things that my clients do. Is they set out their exercise gear, they fill their water. I fill my water bottle and I keep it on the counter. I preload the coffee maker in the morning 95% of the time, unless I'm doing a latte. So I do these things so when I wake up in the morning, I can get dressed, I can do my morning routine, and I can get going. Evening time, same thing. Okay, what's after work? Well, I've got a thing at 4, which means workday really ends at 3, so I can change, transition, get in the car, and be to the thing by 4. Awesome. Now I've planned for that. Well, we've got 2 different things. Where's dinner fitting in? So I am already planning for tomorrow. I'm planning for all the things that are going to go right, and I'm planning for all the things that could possibly hit the fan. Because if we are going through life and saying, oh, everything's going to go according to plan, things are never going to go away. It's not realistic. You're going to be stressed out, overwhelmed, all of the things. It's going to feel like life is just taking a poop on you every single day if you are not aware that that's going to happen. So be really aware and conscious of what your day looks like. This also allows you to really be able to say when somebody asks you tomorrow, hey, do you want to go do this? You already know what your calendar looks like. And you've had time to think about, if somebody asks me to do something, am I going to say yes or no? Doesn't mean you have to. Just because you made the decision doesn't mean you have to follow through if you get asked. But it starts getting you to think about it. For me, sometimes, if I've had plans cancel because a girlfriend's gotten sick or something, and I've already said, like, great, I'm going to stay home, I'm going to get work done, I'm going to do this, and then a different plan comes up, I will say no to that because I've already reworked my schedule in my mind and I've already recommitted to something. But I've thought about all of this. And it's not something I have to think about every night, but planning tomorrow today, having an idea of what is happening is going to keep the summers less stressful and overwhelming. You're going to be able to accomplish things. You're going to feel like, I know what the hell is going on. Like, we are all on the same page here. Big family calendar. The more you guys can all see what's happening in each other's lives, what you're eating, where you need to be, who is taking who, the less likely you are to be stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, not be able to sleep, all of those things. You're less likely to skip your workouts and you're more likely to eat better. So we covered a lot today. And that was kind of my intention, was to cover a lot and to really do a little bit of all the things because it's a transition episode. It's almost summer. I'm so excited. And as we wrap up, remember, what I really like to do is remember to check out our Facebook group. It's in the show notes. In there, you can actually get real accountability from me for the summer. So if you're like, Morgan, I'm going to do 3 strength training workouts, make a post. I'll hold you accountable. There's also great trainings in there. And June 4th, next Wednesday, we are starting our summer strength training bootcamp classes, and I'm so excited. If you are local, I would love to see you. You just go to the show notes, click that link in there, and sign up for either 6 weeks, 12 weeks, or if drop-in is really just best for you, I'd love for you to drop in at least once this summer. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy end of May. And for the next 2 weeks, you are going to see a 2-part series from Kelly Meyerson and myself as we dive into sleep. Those busy brains who cannot fall asleep at night. And then the next week, we're going to be talking about those people who wake up midnight and are just like, why the hell am I awake? That is me. So until next time, I will talk to you all soon. Thank you for tuning in to the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with actionable tips. Remember, your journey to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and join our community of empowered women. Until next time, stay strong and stay confident.